Right, so I'm just going to quickly run through how to take your grip on farmers. Most of you will have been shown when you grip a farmer's walk. It's like the most common way you're taught in Strongman is to grab the farmer's handle and bring your hand round and try and get the farmer's handle as high as possible in your hand. And you'll also be in a little bit of flexion with your wrist as well. That's like the most common way you're shown, which is a good way to pick up the farmers, but it's not the only way. So, like I say, hand in here, wrist into flexion, and get it as high as possible. Most of you probably know that grip, but there are other couple of ways to grip the farmers, and it's good to know more because when you get to competitions, like sometimes thinner handles don't feel quite right like that. Sometimes the handle's a little thicker, and basically you can just adjust your grip on the day as well with your training to help stuff. So there's other ways to grip it. So another way that I like to grip is thumbless grip. So similar principle really, but you get your thumb under. And again, most people will take the wrist into flexion here and try and get it quite high up in the hand. This usually feels nicer on thicker farmer's handles, okay? So again, the difference is, instead of thumb round like this, we're just gonna go thumbless like that. Another way to grip the farmer's walk, which I really like, is in your fingertips, and putting it in your fingertips on purpose. What this is good for is if you're trying to accumulate volume on the farmer's walk, oftentimes you'll end up getting quite a bit of pain in your hand, maybe you've got a little bit of a callus tear or something, and you want to obviously continue training. You can purposely put the farmer's handle a little lower into your fingertip, and that'll usually be a lot less painful. You'll be able to accumulate more volume. Yes, you'll be using a little less weight, but I've found that if you train that grip over time, it gets pretty fucking strong, and also it's still going to build your grip. So when you go back to a full grip, you're going to have all the benefits you've got from the volume accumulation you've done. So that just looks like this. So instead of getting my wrist in flexion and round, I'm just literally going to slot it a little lower in my fingers, neutral wrist. And again, if you want to look at this hand here, Shannon, so you can see, we're just going, instead of being in high like that, we're literally just going about there. So I've still got a decent grip on the farmers, it's just that it's slightly below my callus, so instead of being above my callus, it's about there. So that'll allow us to, like I say, accumulate more volume without getting a lot of pain in your hands and also tearing a callus. I may as well go over whereabouts on the farmers you can grab it, we may as well do that. So you've got options really. You can either go in the centre, a little bit forward, or a little bit back. So it's pretty simple. None is right or wrong. They're just going to apply for different scenarios. So if you grab the farmer's handle slightly at the back, what will happen is the back will lift up first. So oftentimes this is good if you've got a weak pickup. So if I go slightly back, the back lifts first, and it comes off a little easier, and the farmers will be leaning this way. The only problem with that is, if you're running on grass or something, you don't want the farmers to dig into the floor. So don't go too far back or else there'll be too much of a swing. You can do the opposite, where you pick it up slightly in front. So picking them up with your hands in front, same thing. The front's going to come first. It's going to enable you to get that pick up a little easier, and because it's leaning in this direction, you don't really have to worry about the farmers digging into the floor. Now, when you pick it up from the back, what I find is when the farmers are tilting down, because of the angle of the handle, you'll actually load your little finger and ring finger a little more. I really notice this because mine don't work properly, so I can really tell the difference. So I would probably suggest taking your hands a little bit further forward rather than backwards, because then you're going to load these three fingers more and be able to get a better grip with your strongest fingers. Obviously you can also go in the centre, which will allow the farmers to stay completely straight. I think personally, most people should pick the farmers up slightly in front of the centre, because it'll make the pickup faster and it will enable you to take that first stride a little quicker. So if you've got a 20-metre run, you could be saving like a second or so just by making that pickup easier, because obviously once that front end comes up, you've then got 50% of the load on the floor still, and then it's going to come up slightly after. So that's how I grab the farmers. That's how I think most people should grab them. But remember, Everything's individual, so have a play with it. Next time you do farmer's walk, try all the different grips, try the thumbless, try wrapping your hand around, try the fingertip grip, try it slightly in front, slightly behind and in the centre, and decide what's best for you, because there isn't in strongman there's so many variables and so many different biomechanics and stuff. There isn't a set rule for anyone. If you've got amazing grip, you can sacrifice like a worse grip for an easier pickup. So you might find that taking the farmer's handle at the back works better for you because you feel like you can pick it up easier, even though it's harsher on the grip. If you've got a really strong grip, who gives a fuck, you know what I mean? I need to make the most of my grip, and the pickup isn't really an issue for me, to be honest with you. I can pick up probably 30% more than I can actually walk with, so I don't even think about the pickup. So what I do is I try and make the pickup as fast as possible so I can sprint, because I know my strengths. I've got a fast pickup and fast feet, so I know once I'm up and running I can get to that end fucking in about 6 seconds for 20 meters. I can't hold the farmers very long, that's my weakness. So obviously I'm trying to get the strongest grip possible so it allows me to, you know, express my strengths basically and go nice and fast. So hopefully it helps you guys with the farmers walk. Quite a lot of people have been asking me about that. It's kind of like, not common sensey I guess, but you know, just remember that you don't have one way of doing stuff. People often think this is how you grip farmers, and they teach you wrap your hand around and grab it. If that's hurting your hands in training and you're trying to do like loads of volume, do fingertips for your sets, guys. I do fingertip work all the time. This fucking angina I've been doing fingertip work because I need to train my grip, and I've had a callus tear that needs to recover. So I've just been doing fingertip work instead of resting my you know, farmer's walk completely, sticking my fingertips and grafting. Anyway, I need to do my sets now because I've been chatting for about 3 hours, and I've been chatting for another 30 minutes on farmer's walk grip now. Ain't many people that can chat as much shite as me on gripping a farmer's walk is the channel.